Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm told to talk directly into the microphone, so I call to order today's Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, 8 a.m. Judicial and Public Safety Committee meeting. Can I get a roll call, please?
Chair Evans.
Here.
Member Chaplin, Member Childress, Member Desart, Member Eckhoff, Member Guston, Member Krajewski, Member Ozog, Member Schwarzy, Member Tornatori, Member Yu, Member Zay.
Okay, thank you. And do we have any public comments?
No public comment today.
Okay, no public comment. No chair remarks today. Let's just get through this. Can I get a motion on 24-2923, approval of the minutes from Tuesday, October 15th, 2024? Okay, got it moved in second. Any discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to procurement requisitions. Can I get a motion to approve JPSP-33-24, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Strikers, Inc. for the purchase of ballistic and stab-resistant armor for the deputies for the Sheriff's Office for the period of December 1st, 2024 through November 30th, 2025, for a contract not to exceed $165,000. Okay, any discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to, can I get a motion to approve JPSP-34-24? Recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Heartland Business Systems to provide security updates for the Sheriff's Office for the period of October 24th, 2024 through December 20th, 2025 for a contract total not to exceed $196,876.61. Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve JPSP-35-24? Recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to CDW Government LLC to purchase equipment and provide backup media and offline backup for the Sheriff's Office for the period of November 12th, 2024 through November 11th, 2025 for a contract total not to exceed $51,030.84. Any discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve item 6D 24-2933? Recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to Midwest Office Interiors for the purchase of new office furniture for the Sheriff's Office for the period of November 5th, 2024 through November 4th, 2025 for contract total amount not to exceed $26,683.33. Okay, any discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Moving on to action items. Can I get a motion to approve JPS-CO-11-24 amendment to purchase order 6738-1 serve issued to Strikers, Inc. to increase the contract encumbrance in the amount of $30,000 for a new contract total not to exceed $195,000. Okay, any discussion on that? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries. Can I get a motion to receive and place on file item 24-2924, Public Defender's Office Monthly Statistical Report for September 2024? Okay, any discussion on that? Member Desart.
Thank you, Chair Evans. Do we have anybody on the line from the Public Defender's Office? Okay, I'll just call Jeff later then.
Yeah, as I say, I don't believe so. Do you see Mr. York on there? Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, Jeff, I have a quick question. Total cases in your report are 1,253, minus pretrial detention at 146. Does that mean that pretrial release is 1,107? Am I reading that right? Or are some of the arrests, the mental health issues, the juvenile delinquencies not included in the numbers? I guess my bigger question is, you put down there what pretrial detentions, what is the pretrial release? Thank you.
It's hard to answer that. I think I would be easier to sit down with you and look at what you're looking at. So total cases includes cases in which we are appointed for the entirety of the case. The pretrial cases, usually we are only appointed for that limited purpose. So our total, so the pretrial cases kind of come and go very quickly. The cases we hold on to like the felonies and the misdemeanors last a little bit longer as they resolve through the court process. So you wouldn't be able to get an accurate number of how many cases people have been released or not based on my numbers, I don't think.
All right, thanks so much.
But, I would say that Ms. Adams has a portal for DuPage County in terms of pretrial that does have a lot of statistics that would apply to everybody, whether we were appointed or not. And I do think that they do keep detention rates and release rates and things like that in that portal.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jeff, I missed it. What's the portal?
Candace Adams, the clerk's office has a portal with
the clerk's office.
pretrial statistics. Right.
Okay, I'll take a look. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you. And, okay, so any other discussion on that? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries or for placing on a file. Any old business? Seeing none. Any new business? Member Eckhoff.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. During the Circuit Court Clerk's fiscal year 25 budget presentation, she indicated the need to have additional security in her office and some physical improvements to her office. And initially, she had indicated that there would be a total cost of $150,000, $75,000 of which would be for physical improvements to the facility and $75,000 for a full-time security officer. It's my understanding that staff has worked with her to come up with a revised plan for our consideration, which would involve a construction of a permanent solution to the circuit clerk's office, and which would cost $250,000 in construction costs and would eliminate the need for a security officer and the reoccurring $75,000 that were along with that. And in order to fund the solution, she needs $100,000 from the fiscal year 24 surplus. And then we'd have her circuit court clerk's fiscal 25 budget would be reduced by $150 in the security improvements and security budgeted officer. $250,000 would be added to the facilities infrastructure, $150,000 to her 2025 budget. And as I indicated, $100,000 from the fiscal year 24 surplus. So I think what you and staff are requesting is that there be some consensus from this committee to direct staff to prepare the appropriate resolutions to implement these budget changes. It would be more of a permanent solution to the physical makeup of the office and would eliminate the $75,000 reoccurring security fee.
Thank you, Member Eckhoff. Let's have some discussion. Member Zay?
Yeah, I talked to staff about this, and the more I thought about it, I don't understand this. I thought they wanted a temporary security guard until the sheriff's office hired more court security over there. I've heard a lot of this. The only person we haven't heard from is the sheriff's office. Can we get reports of what's going on over there? I mean, are there numerous? Is there one or two? I mean, there's got to be some kind of incident report that's going on. If something happens in the clerk's office, I'm sure the sheriff has to make a report of that, right? At that point. I mean,
We can
again, I was fine with 75,000 for a temporary, and we were talking something small. And we had the undersheriff here, and they said they were getting staff up on this. Now we're going to spend $250,000. I'm wondering, these are supposed to be public buildings. We have more security around here than probably a small nuclear facility. Besides now 421 that's hardened, and we got bulletproof here. They're in a secure building over there that people are getting wand in, scanned in. And there's court security there walking around, and there's people in stations. I mean, I got no problem with the temporary until they got staff up, but now we're going to spend $250,000 on more renovation in the clerk's office. I just don't understand it. And they want me to okay something when I don't see a plan. I mean, I'd like to hear from the sheriff's office and hear how big of a problem this is. And I don't think it is. From talking to some of their staff, I don't think it is a big problem to go ahead and spend $250,000 on this. I mean, the 75 was fine for temporary to make them feel secure or whatever they needed, but now we're talking $250,000. That's a lot more than 75,000 for some small changes and a temporary a guard until the sheriff hired more people.
Well, I understand that the existing 6 doors, swinging doors back and forth that are only about hip high, that are going to be, it's going to be reduced down to 4 and full size doors are gonna be installed that require security access to them. So that's gonna be one major.
Right.
And that's $250,000.
Okay, so.
Again,
we-
we asked for consensus on something when they don't hand us anything and put anything in front of us. No plans, no sketches, no anything saying what this is. And I understand that, but now we're talking $250,000.
Okay, do we want to?
So what was done after Clerk Adams came here and discussed her security concerns there? We then worked with our architect to figure out, okay, how do we secure the staff from the public? And what it was, right now they have 6 swinging doors that basically you can go from one side to the other. Our design basically calls for limiting 2 of them, and then we have key card access for doors, floor to ceiling doors that go from the public to the private areas. And the cost of that is $250,000. That is, I mean, that's a quote from our architect. It also includes securing the public information booth that's in the center in there to make that safer as well. And to offset that, it is $250,000. It would come out of the 2024 contingency. In the clerk's budget for 2025, there is $150,000 that would no longer be needed. So we would, with that, if you as the board want to move forward, we would ask for $250,000 out of the 24 contingency. We would reduce per 25 budget by $150,000. And then obviously eliminate any need for that security officer. As we met with Clerk Adams, she has, absolutely, she's comfortable with this moving forward, but obviously we need concurrence from the board.
Okay, we're gonna.
And we
go-
can provide the documents that we have. Obviously, we have to go through, we just have a preliminary design of it, but we can provide that to the entire board so you can see what we're doing. And if we do have consensus, we would move forward then probably at the next meeting for at least the $250,000.
We can't vote on it today.
No,
Right,
there's
this
no
is
vote
just
today.
consensus, so
So
we're
just-
gonna,
Consensus to move forward with a more full presentation
right,
when it's on the
okay.
agenda.
Member Chaplin and then member Krajewski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, okay, so Nick just said what I was gonna, so this eliminates the need for a sheriff going forward. So this is basically as a one-time investment.
So so if you remember Clerk Adams, her budget proposal, she wanted to hire a independent security guard in there. That would eliminate the need for that independent security guard.
Yes,
And she had 75,000 in her 25 budget for upgrades. Clearly, I mean, in order to make it work, it's clearly more than that, but we would take that 75 and the 75,000 that was in there for that security guard out.
right. And so then, right, so that eliminates the need for the security guard. And then would that also eliminate the need for a deputy then going forward as well, right? Because that would be,
So the thought.
There is no
was
deputy?
There will
Oh,
not
okay.
be a deputy in there.
Okay.
She is comfortable, as of our conversation last week.
Okay.
That if these improvements are made, she would not need additional security in her office.
okay, so this would be a one-time investment and then maybe repairs to the doors every so often or maintenance on the doors every so often? right?
I mean, I guess maintenance like any other door.
Well, right, yeah.
It's basically we're building and we're creating a door like that in an area where there's counters, so the door will go to the ceiling and have the key card. So
Okay.
very little maintenance. on
Okay,
that.
thank you. So, just thinking about it, we see our schools are amping up security. It's important that employees feel safe in their work environment. And if this one-time investment is going to help that in that office, I'm in support of it. So thank you.
Okay, member Krajewski and then member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I agree, safety is important. I don't have enough information. Did we do any kind of security analysis? I mean, I know somebody came and said we want some money for security. Tomorrow we could have another elected official come, but I remember a conversation, and I don't remember what it was, several years ago on security. OEM did analysis and said A, B, C we need. But they never consulted with the sheriff, and then we said, go back and talk to them. Has anybody looked at this security, besides, I know Kansas Adams came and said, we want this, but has an analysis been done that we could see for security needs? Not only there, hell, it could be somewhere else too. We could have other problems. So I'd like to see that first. And then, you know, we're saying give consensus to give money out of, you know, contingencies, which I'm fine if that's a need to do that. I know we had a consensus thing a few weeks ago about putting more money into stormwater, and the stormwater budget was just cut by $298,000. But we had consensus to put more money in there. So, you know, am I weighing, what are all the, you know, we have consensus to put more money in stormwater. We have, maybe we're looking for consensus to do security, but we cut over here. Does that mean?
So
we don't?
let me deal with the stormwater equipment first. The stormwater budget wasn't cut. The stormwater budget was not cut. It was, we shifted 250,000 to ARPA funding.
Then I missed because the chairman of the stormwater
chair
told me that it was cut. So.
Yeah, I mean, and
if you say it wasn't, the chairman says it, the storm committee said it was, then
I mean,
again, then give me information so I have the correct information.
Right,
I have
and then
one person saying one thing and one person saying something else. So.
and I don't know if, actually, that's probably more of a Mary Catherine question with that. But as far as the total for 2025, it's the same amount, and the chair still has the $1 million proposed addition for stormwater as well.
But I mean, that's just a separate question. We're gonna look at contingents and where all the money's gonna go, but the bigger question is the security analysis.
Yeah, I just wanted to answer the one point.
I'll real quick talk to the security analysis. The OEM one you're talking about was for the 421 building specifically. So I don't know that kind of analysis has been done at the courthouse, but that's something I'll look into.
Yeah, because at that time when they did the 421, they didn't even consult the sheriff who's with that too. OEM did it, but I think we got OEM and the sheriff. I would think that not only what Candace is requesting, but the whole building as a whole over there and the whole buildings, all the buildings here. I mean, I'd like to see that first and then say, yes, we do have a need, which probably it does. And that at least helps me say then, okay, let's put the money in there. But there could be other ones too. I mean,
let me work
the
with our
health department
judicial.
across the street could have some security concerns too. I don't know.
Let me
it
work
seems
with our
like we've been
judicial
popping up.
partners.
We had this one, we had downstairs, we have across the street. Maybe there should be a look at the whole county campus. To
Yeah,
see.
but for now, we probably just need to look at the doors. on
Well,
the-
I know we're dealing with this
clerk
one
level.
right now, but is it a need? I don't know. I don't have any analysis that says besides somebody coming up and asking for it.
Let me work with our judicial and public safety officials, and I
So
can
the answer is that
coordinate.
nothing was done.
Not to the best of my knowledge at the courthouse. No, not specifically that.
That would have been helpful.
Okay, so I don't know if we're gonna, oh, sorry, Member Ozog.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On first glance, it appears that if we are not having a person hired to do the security, this would pay for itself. The $150,000 ask would pay for itself in 2 years. So on first glance, it appears to be that it would save money. I agree that we should maybe see a little bit more. I'm guessing, conjecturing that it would be something, construction needs to be done in kind of a larger plan to reconfigure whatever's going on here, but
I was gonna say, I'm gonna defer to our building experts in regards to what it would
yeah,
actually look like. So I was gonna say, I'll defer to Tim on that. I believe I know what it is, but I'll let him indicate to you.
thank you. I just wanted Tim to be brought up here on the. hot
Sure,
seat.
yeah, good morning, thank you.
You're welcome.
What we're looking at is there's 6 openings right now, and they have a door that's similar when you enter in to see Keith or when you enter to see the auditor. It's a half door and it just swings. What we're proposing to do, or the concept is that door would actually be enlarged. We would put in a full door, as Nick said, kind of like those that are there.
Okay.
In order to put those in, we have to anchor them all the way to the ceiling, or else they're gonna want to move. They're not gonna be
There's
secure.
a lot of stuff
Correct.
involved.
There's also a desk behind those locations, so those have to be modified and adjusted. The last piece on this is there's swipes that we put in, so that once you're in that rotunda area within the circuit clerk's office, in order to get past that, you'll have to swipe, just like you have to swipe to get into all the other locations. And that's where the security barrier would be between the rotunda and where the staff is. It'd be kind of making it closer to layer you have like a bank type of a scenario. In addition to that, where their informational officer is in the middle, there's a person that sits there, and that area also similarly would be enclosed. What we have is a series of schematics that shows how this could be progressed that we can send to you along with the preliminary budget. That's a preliminary budget. As Nick said, that's an architect's estimate. So that number would ultimately be refined and more or less cranked down till we have a hard number. And that hard number would ultimately we'd be bid out. So that's how we would secure that number. But we can absolutely send you guys that information of what was put together.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Member Chaplin?
Thank you. And Tim, thank you for explaining that because, when we walk through the county building here at 421, a lot of the departments are not accessible unless you swipe your card. So like, for example, if I want to go to finance, I have to swipe my card to get in there. And those are safety measures. And I don't think that the circuit clerk's office should be, if they want doors like we have here that have swipe access, I think we should give it to them. I mean, if we don't and something were to happen and we, for whatever the amount, I'm not sure what the amount was, 250, 175, 250, then I would feel it would be really tragic. So I think for everybody's peace of mind, this is a good investment. We have it throughout the 421 building and it's really no different. So thank you.
Okay, Member Eckhoff and then Member Zay.
Yeah, we're just looking for a consensus to move forward to present this
Right.
in a future meeting. Nobody has to vote or be up or down for or against. Just you want to hear more about it in 2 weeks or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I think the more information is going to come after that. So Member Zay and then Member Krajewski, and then we'll wrap it up.
Just a question. Who's in charge of security at the courthouse?
The sheriff's office by
Have
statute.
we had any discussions with the sheriff's office about this?
Uh,
So you would think they'd be the first person we talk to if we had a security issue at the courthouse, we would talk to the sheriff's office. And unlike 421, I don't think anybody from the public, they serve the public. They're coming to pay fines. They're coming to do other things at the clerk's office, which can get tense. I can understand that. Not like 421. I don't think anybody's coming here to talk to our finance department. I mean, the recorder of deeds, all the other ones have other areas. We need to make these changes. That's fine. But again, I thought the security guard was temporary until the sheriff's office went up. And again, I'd like to talk to the sheriff's office and see how many problems there have been at the clerk's office. Maybe this isn't enough. Maybe we need to harden it more and make it like the clerk's office here, where they have, we change it and they have it sealed off completely. I mean, but again, I don't know the security issues until we talk to the people actually in charge of security, which would be the sheriff's office.
Again, I'll make sure in between our next meetings, I'll coordinate with our judicial and public safety partners.
Okay, so then Member Krajewski and then let's wrap it
Yeah,
up.
again, I would just like to follow up with Member Zay said, just seeing the amount of incidents, but the employee safety is of concern, but I think we need to look at the whole campus of the ones that are, because it seems like we've hardened a few of them that deal with the public, but not all of them. And how many incidents do we have? I can tell you at Animal Services over there, they have a lot of disgruntled yelling people who come in at the front office there, whether their dog who was brought in or picked up as a stray, sat there for over 7 days and adopted out and they're mad at or something. I mean, so there's a lot of incidents over there and that's not hardened. Maybe it should be. And maybe there's other spots on this campus it should be. So from a broader picture, I think a future discussion of all the people that deal with the public, all of our employees. I mean, is there one incident that's been at this one place, 10 over here? I mean, I don't know. But I would be, if we're going to continue moving this discussion forward, look at the whole campus versus we keep doing these one-offs when there's an incident, like 421 a while ago, and now courthouse, and next it'll be over at the health department, or the convalescence. I don't know, but we should look at the whole campus instead of
Okay, that'll probably be a good
just
discussion.
doing this piecemeal. Not that we have to do it for this particular one, but we should, whether it's Member Ozog's Committee of Public Works, look at the whole campus.
Okay, probably something in the future, but and I want to keep everybody,
Yeah, when we
make
always
sure
say
we
the
all know that
future-
these are security.
We always say the future, then we never do it.
Yeah, so those are things that are probably best in closed session anyways regarding security. So, okay, so no consensus, or let me see if any hands on consensus. This is to get more information. So we've got, okay, this will be more information. You will get more information and
Madam Chair, so in 2 weeks' time, maybe you'd like more information. We can try to have some renderings and maybe spell it out a little bit more in that regard. Is that what the consensus is here?
I would say what we'll do in 2 weeks at JPS, maybe we'll do an executive session and we'll talk about that. I mean, I know that it'd probably be better and we can have maybe the the sheriff here at that point, and we can have some drawings up, but we'll do an executive session in 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Okay,
Oh, could I ask a question, please?
okay.
Just about executive session. As long as we're going to executive session, I don't know if we have to mark it on the agenda, but I would also like to discuss some things that are going on in the jail too, if we can put that on the executive session as well.
We'll look at the agenda.
Uh,
We'll think, I don't know if we'll have time for all of those.
Could we discuss that and
Yes.
see what it is first?
Sure.
And then
Yeah, I'll
then
talk to you guys
get an
about it. Yep.
answer on that?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other new business? Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Second.